Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and get started today. I want to welcome you back if you've been joining me for any part of this series at all. This is our three-part series for mompreneurs and money, less money stress and more money success. And don't we all want that? So today is part 3, and this is where we're going to take back your money-making power and thrive in your business. And really, that's what it's all about, because when you have a passion-based or purpose-based business and it's not making money, that actually lessens your passion. Like, you can only do that for so long before you do start to feel like you're getting burnt out. You start thinking about, well, maybe I have to go back and get a job, because let's face it, it's great to be living your purpose and sharing your gifts, but you've got to make money doing it, or you can only do it for so long. So what we really want to do is get your businesses, whatever that looks like for you, get it to a sustainable place that can nurture you, because that is when you'll be able to bring out your greatest gifts, your greatest gems for the people that are meant to learn from you and to really receive your message. So, if you're feeling stressed out about money, it's very hard to be inspired. And I've been there, and it's a struggle. So we don't want that to happen for you. And that's the main objective of this 3-part series. So quickly to recap over what we've covered thus far, because I know we have some new people that have just signed up to join us for this. So to recap, in part 1, what I talked about was the biggest trap that I see women entrepreneurs making that keeps them small, it keeps them from not growing, and it definitely keeps them from feeling empowered financially. And that's this idea around, what voices are you listening to when you're making decisions for your business, or any financial decisions for that matter. And the voice that you want to listen to, the one that is going to lead you down the path to financial empowerment in your business, is the true, authentic you. Those voices, and yes, there are more than one, those voices of the true, authentic you, that is where your purpose is. So you want to hear those messages, and you want to make decisions from what those voices, how those voices are directing you. Okay. And we talked about, though, the trap. And the trap is listening to some other voices that are often louder, and they're coming from a very limited, often scarcity-minded place. And that is the voices of self-betrayal. So we talked a little bit about that, how to know if you're hearing them. If you've missed that, definitely go back and watch part 1. Now, in part 2, we talked about the biggest block to your money flow. And this is the one that most people don't even know is there. I didn't know it was there for years in my business. But once I discovered it, once I heard about this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is me. And I know it is for so many other women, especially the women that I coach with. And so, and it's actually becoming a part of people's vernacular now, people I'm working with, because now it's like, we check in with ourselves. Am I in alignment, or am I not in alignment? So this is all about being in alignment with your vision, the vision for your business, the vision for your money, how much you want to make, what you want your lifestyle to be like. It's that vision, from your higher self. How to know if you're actually lined up, in your heart, in your physical being. Are you doing and saying things in alignment with that? Are you feeling in alignment with that? How to recognize when you're not. Because if you are making decisions financially or in your business, and you are not in alignment with your true purpose or your true vision, whatever that is for you, then you're going to be making decisions. First of all, you're not going to be commanding your full power, because now you put a block in there when you're not aligned. You need to be a clear channel through which your energy can flow to create what you want. So if you're not in alignment, you're putting blocks on your path. Excuse me. So that was part 2. Definitely watch that if you have not watched that yet. Now, today we are talking in our part 3 all about how to get to that place where you can finally thrive, finally make money in your business, finally trust your business that it will support you, and trust yourself that you have what it takes to run a business that actually supports you and makes a huge impact in the world. Okay. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted for a long time. It's why I started my business. And as I've talked about in the previous episodes, I really struggled for quite a long time until I finally figured some stuff out. So I want to try to shorten your learning curve. If you're in this stuck and stagnant place with your business or even with money, you don't have to have a business. You just need a dream. If you have a dream and the money's not there to support it, these are the types of things that you want to look at for yourself. So one of the things that you hear a lot of people say is they talk about this idea of your relationship with money, right? You've probably heard that before. I've said that before, right? Because we are in a relationship with money. But what does that really mean to be in a relationship with money? What I've discovered it actually means is being in an empowered relationship with yourself. So this relationship with yourself that I'm talking about, it's largely experienced. I mean, your whole relationship with yourself, it's largely experienced through your voice, through your voices, those voices in your head, those voices that prop you up, that tell you, I've got you, you can do this, that support you, but also those voices that tear you down, that berate you, that criticize and judge you. Okay. Whatever those voices are saying that you are playing within your head 24/7, and they're there for all of us all the time, that is your relationship with yourself. If you're balanced with these voices, because we all have both, the one, the self-betrayal type voices and the authentic self type voices. If you are more heavily weighted, even if it's like 51% negative and 49% positive, you are not in an empowered relationship with yourself to where you're going to feel empowered with money. Why? Because those self-betrayal voices, those ones that don't really support you, that have you thinking small, those are the voices that are going to take control of your financial decisions. Do you want small, limited thinking, negative, judgmental voices guiding you to make decisions with your money? No, you do not. Those voices come from fear. They're related to needing to feel safe, and they don't serve you, and they don't serve the you who has the money that you want and who has the thriving business that's making a difference for people. They're not in alignment, going back to the alignment piece, okay? It's really about strengthening your relationship with you through the voice. That is the easiest way to access and change your relationship with you, is through the voice. So one of the things that, it's obvious, and yet people need to hear it, is that whatever results you're receiving in your life, okay? So we're talking about money, so and business results, right? So if the money that is showing up in your life is not the money that you want, like you love what's there, but you would like some more because you have big dreams and you have big goals, well, everything that shows up in your life as a result, so here we're talking about money, there is a cause that was set in motion that created that result. Everything in our physical world here is the result of a cause. It didn't show up without first a thought put into motion, okay? It's the same way with money. Money is a result. Money is not a cause. This is a mistake a lot of people make, is they think that money is a cause, and then they make decisions as if money is a cause, meaning, well, I can't do that because I don't have the money. And the money is what is holding me back from doing it. This is an issue, by the way, side note, that I'm going to be talking about in our upcoming retreat, because this will trip you up every single time. If you make decisions based on whether or not the money's there, you're never going to get where you want to go. Okay, that's it. It's like you're watching a movie and you don't like the scene that's on the movie screen and you want to change it. So you go up to the screen and you're like trying to manipulate the screen. The movie's still playing and it's not going to stop until you go back into the little room and change what's in that projector reel, right? So you need to set a cause in motion. That's the first thing to know, okay? Money is the effect of a cause, all right? So if you don't have the money that you want, then obviously the causes that you are putting into motion are not creating that money. It means we need to set a new cause into motion. Now, when you first focus, going back to the relationship with self, when you first focus on yourself, on your relationship with yourself through those voices. Why the voices? Because they're the most easiest way to access that relationship. That is when you create a new cause, because now you're thinking from a different place. And so your decisions are going to look different. Every decision you make is a cause. Okay. So we got to go back to that projector room within you, within your mind, within your heart, make the changes there. And then you're putting out a new cause, like a new movie on the screen. And that's where you see a different result. So one of the symptoms, this is really what I want to talk about today, that you need to improve your relationship with yourself, apart from the money thing. Okay, that's the biggest symptom. Like, oh, the money that I want is not there. Well, that's a symptom that the relationship with yourself, i.e., with your money, needs to change. But another really obvious symptom that I see with so many mompreneurs that I have come across, both just as colleagues, but in the people that I work with, is this control issue. I know a lot about this control issue because, yes, I'm a self-professed control freak. I'm that type A kind of person. I want to do really well. I have a really strong work ethic. And it can get me into trouble sometimes. And most women entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, we are kind of into our control thing, right? Because that's why we became entrepreneurs. We don't want to work for someone else's objectives and goals. We want to get our own objectives and goals out there in the world because, we can control that better, right? That feels good. So one of the problems I see, and this is how I know when there's an issue here with the relationship that person has to their self, is when they try to control things that you're not supposed to control. And they don't take enough control over the things that are within your control. It's this mixed up balance of control going on. And it happens because of our need for a sense of safety and security. That's a whole nother issue. I'm not going to really get into that today, but that is why we try to take control, because it makes us feel safe. And that definitely is a thing for me. The unknown is scary. And if you are an entrepreneur, that's all you're dealing with is the unknown. Every program you put out there, you don't know what's really going to happen, right? So if we try to control the parts of that we really have no control over, that is when our money results do not turn out the way we want. So I want to show you some of the things that you absolutely can and must control if you want to get in control of your money and help your business to thrive. So what you can control related to your business and money are your vision and your desired outcome. That is absolutely within your control. To see what you want, to know what you want, to write it down, to really own what you want. Also, who you want to work with. You get to decide. That's one of the greatest parts of being a mompreneur, is you get to decide who you work with and who you don't work with. How you want to serve your ideal clients. What do you want to share with them? Which gifts do you want to offer them? What do you want that to look like? When do you want to work? How do you want to work? What is your core message that you wish to share? Most of us have more than one core message. I used to work with parents to help them build the confidence and self-esteem of their children. I still love that work. That still is a core message for me. But I've taken a different focus now because I also and equally absolutely love to help women, and in particular moms, to get out there with their passions and in particular make money. That's I think how we can do the most good in the world. How much you want to charge? That is totally up to you. Like, you get to charge whatever you want in your business. How you position your services, totally up to you. The quality of your service, how skilled we are at what we do, totally up to you. Your self-confidence, your self-trust, your self-acceptance, your relationship with money, what we've just been talking about, and whether or not you choose to move forward and really make your dreams happen. These things are all 100% within your control. So these are the things that I see a lot of women not taking control over. And then it's causing a problem for them with their money. I see a lot of women who are not clear about their core message. What is it that they really want to share? They allow this lack of clarity and this confusion to stop them from really moving forward. I see that all the time. I mean, it's almost impossible to make any kind of decent money if you're not clear in your core message. That's an alignment piece. Your purpose knows, your higher self knows, but if you haven't really owned it and bought into it yet, that's a misalignment right there. Okay. And then these elements at the bottom of the screen around your self-confidence, your self-trust. So many amazing, successful, smart women, they don't have the level of confidence that they do in certain areas of their life, like as being a mom and, running their home. And if they had a corporate job or some other type of work, totally confident, successful, like going for it. But when it comes to doing their own thing, all of a sudden, like all that confidence, it's not there. And it needs to be there for you to create the success in that area and make money from it. Also, trusting yourself. So often we trust things outside of us way more than we trust ourselves, or we'll trust our past failures more than we trust our desires and our vision. That's a recipe for not a lot of money. And your relationship with money, like all of that, all those voices in your head, and how you manage that dialogue and how you move forward from that place, which of the voices you listen to and which you ignore. That is like wholly within your control. And I don't see a lot of women taking control of that. So these are all things that, you want to look at and you want to take back control for. It will make a huge difference. And I can honestly say that with all of these things, this is where, I mentioned, I think it was in the last call or maybe in my last email about my come to Jesus moment around when things just weren't working. These were all the things I changed. I remember that a couple of years ago, I sent out, I think it was an end of the year message I wrote, and I was talking about how my money situation had changed significantly. And I made just a brain dump list of all the things that I had changed. Okay. It came from these things. It looked like a really big list, but the thing is, these are all interrelated. And once you start working on one, it just becomes, the next one becomes that much easier. For example, if you have true self-confidence when it comes to your business, that enables you to foster self-trust, which enables you to have a better relationship with money, which enables you to, move forward towards your dreams with more confidence. I mean, these things are all connected. So let's take a look at the things that you cannot control, because the flip side of this is we don't really know how to control this because nobody really teaches this stuff. You hear about, or you watch business programs and business coaching. It's all around the strategies that you should employ to make money. And it's very light on the mindset, right? Like you'll get maybe one module out of 7 will be on mindset. They hardly give it its, the weight that it needs. So let's look at the things that people do try to control that you really can't control. Things you cannot control. How your message is received. I can't control how you hear this message, right? Because it's going to go through your filters and your experience, and it's going to land on you in your own personal way. I cannot control that. I can only control how I share the message and what the message is, but I can't control how it's received. You also can't control who actually shows up to work with you. I mean, I remember when I was working in my other business, I was speaking to moms, but I had grandfathers sign up for my programs. I couldn't have predicted that or controlled it, but the message spoke to them. I had older women. I had a woman who was she was over 70, who signed up to work with me. I couldn't have, this is when I first started. I'm like, I couldn't have planned that. I wasn't targeting her specifically in her unique situation, but something in my message, she saw herself in it. And she went on to create a huge success from the work that we did together. So you're not going to be able to control who shows up, but you do need to know who you're targeting, because that helps you really hone your message. How your vision or desired outcome gets fulfilled. This is probably the one that most people try to control, above all of the other stuff. It's how can I do it? How am I going to get there? How can I make my vision unfold? That's not your job. You don't get to figure out how it's going to happen. You double down on your vision itself. You get clear on what it is. You get clear on how you want to step into that, and you take those steps that are clear to you. And the God source universe shows up and fulfills based on how you move towards it. This is hard for some people to really get their heads around, but this was one of the biggest things that allowed me to move forward. Was I started to let go of how, and I just trusted that whatever showed up in response to what I was doing, the causes I was setting in motion, as long as I trusted what showed up and didn't judge it as being wrong because it didn't look the way I expected, that's how I moved forward. That's when unexpected opportunities showed up. That's when clients would come out of the blue and email me and say, hey, I think I want to coach with you. I mean, that happens all the time now, as long as I'm moving forward and I'm just doing, the next right step without trying to plan exactly, micromanaging how it has to look. And that speaks to the next point, which opportunities show up to support you. You can't really control that. That is outside of you. When you control what's going on inside of you and you listen to your own voice, your own inner star, and you move just according to that voice, the opportunities that are right for you at the right time show up all the time. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. How much someone is willing to spend on themselves. Okay, this goes back to the pricing issue. One of the things that trips a lot of mompreneurs up is we try to figure out what would this client pay, and then we alter our pricing to try to make a price that we think they'll pay. You don't know what anyone's financial situation, and you don't know how resourceful people are or how much value what you offer has to them. So it is just not your business to try to figure out who's going to pay for what. You just need to stand strong in what you want to price something based on, again, your own inner star, your own inner voice, and then trust that the people who want to pay for that really see that as their next level, they will find the money every single time. How committed a potential client is to solving their problem. This can get us tripped up as well. We can't care more about your client getting the result than they care for themselves. You meet them 100%, but you can't care more, okay? That's when you get into trouble. The client has to care at least as much as you about getting the result as you care about helping them. I would have people that would get on calls with me and we would talk about their issues, and I would present a solution to them, and I would know, like, oh my God, I can totally help this person get over this issue. And I remember wanting to convey that, look, like a year from now, this is going to be in your past. And they couldn't get there. And I'll never forget, I had this one that talked to me, and I remembered her so well because it was so clear to me. I knew exactly what was going on and I knew how to fix it. And but she just couldn't see it for herself, but she just couldn't get away from the fears that were, blocking her, these voices of self-betrayal, basically. And a year later, when I was doing the same promotion again, she once again got on the phone with me. Nothing had changed in her life. She still had the same problem. Nothing had moved forward. And she felt a little bit worse because now it's been yet another year of dealing with the problem. So, and it was at that point, and I realized, you know what, If you're not willing to take a step for yourself, I can't, there's nothing I can do, right? So we need to know that we cannot control how much a person's going to commit to solving their problem, okay? We also can't control what someone thinks about what you're doing. And ooh, this one really got me. I was so careful, trying to be so careful with my words and say things in just the perfect way to not offend anyone on either side, right? And that does not work. When you tiptoe down the middle line, it's crickets. You have to take a stand for your message, and not everybody's going to like it. And some people actually might get very, very angry. And that is not your responsibility. That is their responsibility to manage, and they can just turn away. They can turn you off. They don't have to listen to you, okay? But we need to stop thinking that we need to control how someone's going to think about what we want to say. Also, we cannot control what society thinks moms should and shouldn't do. And this really hits mompreneurs hard because, you know, moms are not supposed to focus on themselves. Moms are really supposed to focus on their kids and their families, and putting all of that first, and putting their voice and their desires at the end. And we need to move past that as a society. There is a way to care so well for your family and to keep your dreams alive. And, you know, in fact, I would assert that the more that you step into your dreams, the better care you give to your family, because A, you're happier, B, you are modeling how to really be empowered and connected to your purpose, and C, that, you know, your kids see that, your family sees that, and it lifts everybody up. You also cannot control whether someone likes you. I had a trouble with this one too. It's like I didn't want to not be liked. Well, that did not make me a lot of money. That kept me struggling financially. One of the things that a dear coach said to me once that has always stayed with me is that you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And it's really held up to be true. So you got to speak from your heart. And then you also cannot control your clients' results. Now, some people find this one weird. Like, what do you mean? Like, well, because you are not responsible for what they do or how they interact with the material or what they put into play in their life. You'd have to literally like be living with them and sitting on their shoulder all the time to be responsible for that. You're fully responsible, however, for giving them everything they need to make the change, okay? But beyond that, what they do with that is not your responsibility. So from that aspect, that perspective, you are not responsible for their ultimate results, okay? This is really important. If we try to take ownership, and this means also when a client gets great results, thinking that that's all you. No, it's not. That was them. They actually took the material and they did something with it. That's them. You can have 2 clients in the program, and I've had this before, where you're giving them all the same information, and one client just nothing changes in their life, and the other client just flies. Why does that happen? It's down to, it's the same information they're getting. It's just that one client wasn't able to integrate it and implement it in their life, and the other was. So those results that they ultimately get it's not up to you to control, okay? So the list of things you can control is longer than the list of things you can't control. But we seem to flip what we focus on. And when you do that, it's a recipe for massive frustration and typically a feeling of failure, and also typically not making the money that you actually could be making. You're leaving a lot of money on the table when you do that, when you don't have the control going in the right direction, okay, your focus. So why are we going to do that? Why are we going to waste our valuable time and our valuable energy on the things we can't control? We need to change that now if we really want to thrive in our business. Okay, so here's the thing. This is what I want to say about successful mompreneurs, okay? We all want to be that. I mean, I want to be that, right? And if you're listening to this, you probably want to be that too. Successful mompreneurs, they handle their issues around all of these things I'm talking about, around being in control of the right things, not being in control of the wrong things. But in order to do that, you need to have a really strong sense of self. You need to have rock solid confidence, or at least be going in that direction. You need to have a lot of clarity around your purpose and your message. And because these aspects, as you grow these aspects, when you connect with and embody these aspects, you are, connecting with your true voice, you're connecting with your authenticity. And that comes through in the business decisions that you're making. That comes through in what you choose to control and what you choose to surrender. And that is when things you really start to feel like you're in the flow, okay? But it really comes back to these essential, characteristics, qualities of ownership within, like really owning yourself, really owning who you are, and being able to embody it so that it comes through in your business. That's really the key. And that's what successful mompreneurs have been able to figure out for themselves. And some have done this unconsciously, but most need to put a little focus there. And I believe that one of the reasons why so many businesses fail is because hardly anyone is teaching them this very important factor. If you are not fully connected to yourself, if you are not 100% aligned with what you're doing, the money is not going to be there to support you long term. Okay, so that's what we want to be able to change for you. All right, so when you get anchored in your own voice, your own true authentic voice, your own creativity, your purpose, you're really connected to it, and you bring forth what you are meant to bring forth in this world, you no longer get caught up in what other people think or in what other people are doing, that comparison thing. And that is when the magic happens. It truly is when the magic happens financially. And money showing up is just a result of that alignment and that anchoring in yourself. Okay. That is the cause that allows the shift in money. It's all internal at a certain point. Yes, there are strategies you need to know. Absolutely. But at a certain point, to grow the money beyond where it's at, it's this inner piece that needs the attention. So the key here, and we're going to wrap up in just a minute here. I know we've gone a bit long today, as always, right? There's always so much I want to share with you. But the key here really is that it's about surrendering the things that you can't control and surrender to the vision. Okay, that is it. It is about surrender, and it's also about action. It's taking relentless action on the things you can control. This is so important. This is so important to take the action on what you can control. But if you're scared, if you lack confidence in yourself, if you're listening to voices of self-betrayal, if you're not aligned with what you're really doing, you're not going to be able to take the action as effectively as you could. Okay. So coming back to that piece again, it is so important. So here are a couple of questions for you to reflect on regarding what we discussed today. Where do you need to grow in your own authentic voice? Where are you a little shaky when it comes to making money, when it comes to making money in your business, when it comes to living your vision? Where are you trying to control what you can't control? And where are you wasting your time and energy? And where are you not taking action on what you can control? And you want to be really honest with yourself when you're answering these questions. And don't just cruise by this and not take the time to reflect. This would be a really good exercise to do right after our session today to get clear on these things. All right, so we're going to wrap up now. But before we do, I want to give you one last reminder about our upcoming Mompreneur Money Breakthrough Retreat. That's coming up October 21st and 22nd. It's a 2-day virtual retreat. You can be tuning in from the comfort of your home. You don't have to pay for flight costs and hotels. And I'm going to teach you about my signature 5-part formula for more money, more fulfillment, more flexibility, and more fun in your purpose-driven business. So it's going to encompass a lot of the things we've been talking about, but we're going to give you so much more in that retreat. Now, I'm telling you, this 5-part process, my clients love this process. They love this process, and it's truly been a game changer for them in helping them to overcome their core wound, helping them to really embody who they truly are, and to get more clarity around what is my core message. Because you need to know who you are to really be clear in your message. Also, in our retreat, you'll finally understand where you're stopping yourself. You'll see it so clearly, and you'll know like why the money isn't coming in, what the changes are within you that need to happen. So you can stop the self-sabotage and start making more money. And finally, you'll discover the roadmap to create the consistent money you dream of. So not only will you know exactly how you've been holding yourself back in your purpose-driven business, so you can make some new decisions there, but you're also going to increase your capacity to receive more money. And this is huge. We need to have the capacity and ability to receive in our business. And largely through what we'll be going through in the 2 days, you will be opening up your ability and capacity to receive more. In addition, you'll know yourself at a deeper level after the 2 days. You'll start to feel some more self-love, some more self-trust, greater alignment with yourself and your message and your desires, and even more peace around money. And that's going to help your ability to receive as well. When you feel more peaceful around this thing of money and not so grabby and like, I got to get, that helps you relax into the peace. I learned to override the voices of self-betrayal that were keeping me and my business small and broke for a long, long time. And I discovered the blueprint that really helped me to unleash my authentic voice and my mission into the world. And as a result, the effect of that is I'm creating a profitable business. I'm creating a business that is supporting me. And I want to teach you how to do that. So tomorrow is the last day for the early bird pricing of $97. So if you want to get the best pricing, you want to enroll by then, price goes up to $197 after tomorrow. So that's still an amazing value because I should be pricing this at $497. But if you want to get in and save the most, get the best value, do that by Wednesday. And then lastly, something really fun is I love doing these types of bonuses. I'm doing a bring a friend bonus opportunity. So when you enroll in our Mompreneur Money Breakthrough Retreat, and then you bring a friend who also enrolls, both of you will receive a private one-on-one sacred money archetype reading with me. So this is a one-to-one session that will reveal uniquely how you relate to money. It's really eye-opening. I have had so much fun doing these sessions, and that's a $197 value for each of those sessions, and you'll each get one for simply signing up for the retreat and bringing a friend who could benefit from the retreat and having her sign up as well. Okay, so in order to get yourself in there and grab your spot, you just want to go to ishinewealth.com, MMB Retreat. That stands for Mompreneur Money Breakthrough Retreat. ishinewealth.com, MMB Retreat. That's all I have for you, ladies. I hope you've enjoyed this series over the last 3 sessions that we've been sharing. If you have questions about the retreat or anything I've shared here, feel free to reach out at jill@ishinekids.com. And until next time, be well. And I look forward to being back with you again real soon. And I hope to see a lot of you in our upcoming retreat, because I think it's really going to support your goals for money, get you out of your own way, and help you really start making the money that you deserve and that you desire. So until next time, bye-bye.